Shalom. Shalom and welcome. Welcome to Endtime Reflections. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah, and these are the words I'm compelled to present before an awakening, set-apart nation. To those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Creator, He who is the beginning and the end, He who is the Almighty One, Yahuah. To those that are drawn by Yahuah to Yahusha, as it is written in the Scriptures, I say to you again, welcome. In this 65th installment of Endtime Reflections, I want to bring your attention to the words, things needed. Things needed. My brothers and sisters, if you seek to do the will of the Almighty Father, yes, I indeed consider you my brother and my sister. Let me ask you, have you considered the things needed for such a time as this? Have you discussed among those whom you fellowship what could possibly be things needed to fulfill end-time expectations? But let me pause for a minute before I get into this segment and say this. The views expressed in these podcasts and these messages do not necessarily reflect the views of the owners, management, and or shareholders of this media platform. With that said, who among us discusses the expectations regarding fulfilling end-time tasks? We want the results. We want the fruit. But we fail to recognize what it takes to get the fruit. We fail to recognize what it takes to bring us to the results that are desired. Yes, we desire the completed rewards, but fail to recognize what is required along the way. My brothers and sisters, soon movement will ramp up. It has begun for many in different parts of the world. I speak of this often. Soon people will begin to hunger for clear directions. And it is those who will grow to recognize things needed for accomplishing the time assigned tasks that must be identified. We will not be beamed into submission. We will not wake up one day and witness the fulfillment of end-time prophecies and all of a sudden snap into place. We will grow to recognize what iron sharpening iron truly means. I submit to you, things needed will be identified along with those who must and will use such things correctly, from living instructions to literal resources and supplies. Just as there were instructions for avoiding the visit of the death messenger during the time of Passover, so will we begin to identify things needed and instructions for avoiding the messenger of death as end-time famine, pestilence, disease, earthquakes, wars, and other challenging conditions described in end times, as well as the Great Tribulation. We will grow to know what we must do and what it will take to accomplish such tasks. Let me read Leviticus 23, 4 and 5, my brothers and sisters. It said, these are the appointed times of Yahuah, set-apart gatherings, which you are to proclaim at their appointed times. In the first new moon, on the 14th day of the new moon, between the evening, is the Passover. Some verses will say Pasahah, to Yahuah. The Passover. Instructions to life, my brothers and sisters. Yes, there was the literal example of the Passover, but there are spiritual teachings that pass on when we are able to discern the purpose, or at least, should I say, one of the purposes of the Passover, ordered to pass it down to generation. Many missed the mark. But let me continue. In Exodus 12th chapter, verse 3 through 14, it reads, speak to all the congregation of Yashar'al, saying, on the 10th day of this new moon, each one of them is to take for himself a lamb, according to the house of his father, a lamb for his household. Things needed, my brothers and sisters. He goes on to say, and if the household is too small for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to the house take it according to the number of beings, according to each man's need. You count your count for the lamb. Things needed. 5th verse, let the lamb be a perfect one, a year old. Take it from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same new moon. Then all the assembly of the congregation of Yashar'al shall slay it between the evenings. To kill the lamb, they needed tools, things needed. And they shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorposts and on the lintel of the house where they eat. Blood from the lamb, things needed, my brothers and sisters. And they shall eat the flesh on the night, roasted in fire. Things needed, my brothers and sisters. With unleavened bread, with bitter herbs, they shall eat it. Things needed, my brothers and sisters. Do not eat it raw, nor boil it at all with water, but roast it in fire, its head with its legs and its inward parts. And you do not leave it until morning. What remains of it until morning you are to burn with fire. And this is how you eat it. Your loins girded, your sandals on your feet, your staff in your hand, and you notice that it says your loins girded, sandals on your feet, staff in your hand. Things needed, my brothers and sisters. You shall eat it in haste. It is the Passover of Yahuah. 12th verse. And I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night and shall strike all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast. And on all the mighty ones of Mitzrayim I shall execute judgment. I am Yahuah. And the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I shall pass over you, and let the plague not come on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Mitzrayim. And this day shall become to you a remembrance, and you shall celebrate it as a festival to Yahuah throughout your generations. Celebrate it as a festival, an everlasting law. You see, he's not saying it's just a festival. He's saying an everlasting law, everlasting instructions to survive, my brothers and sisters. Let me continue. I submit to you what I just read were instructions that led to the life of Yashar'al regarding surviving from the death messenger of Yahuah during the time they were in Mitzrayim or Egypt. Keep in mind, there were things needed to carry out the orders from Abba Yahuah. To say the least, the right lamb along with materials, resources, and supplies for kindling a fire, for cooking a lamb, for cutting a lamb. And they were given instructions to put on their sandals, to have their staff in their hand. There were things needed. Believe it or not, my brothers and sisters, widespread deaths have begun across the planet as COVID-19 and other unspoken diseases are wreaking havoc across the planet. Civil unrest, economic instability, and rumors of wars, not to mention global warming and climate change conditions, are causing many to pursue answers. Are you among those seeking answers? Or are you just moving day by day without any concerns? What are you hearing? What are you doing? What are your expectations? Do you think keeping your position secret is the way to go? Many of you by now probably think I speak too much of the coming challenges ahead. But there are some who are hearing these words for the first time, and there are others who may have heard it and taken heed, or others who may now, for the third or fourth time, are waking up. Make no mistakes, the days are here, the days are ahead, when we will wish we discerned and responded sooner than now. While there are those among us who would claim they do not know what questions to ask or fail to discuss critical concerns as end times ramp up, we will still witness end time prophecies move forward before us, and if necessary, and in some cases without us. Failing to identify and embrace things needed will not stop the plan of Abba Yahuah from unfolding. Yashar'al, oh set-apart family, end times are here. They are real. I'm compelled to believe there must be balance. Let me present something. For people who will say, I ain't worried, y'all gonna take care of me, I ain't worried. We ain't supposed to worry about anything. There should be balance, oh Yashar'al. Let me read Matthew 6:25-26. Because of this I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you shall eat or drink, or about your body, what you shall put on. Is not life more than the food, and the body more than the clothing? Look at the birds of the heaven, for they neither sow nor reap, nor gather into storehouses. Yet your heavenly Father does feed them. Are you not worth more than they? Do not worry. But there must be balance, my brothers and sisters. Consider these words, Matthew 25:1-12. Then the reign of the heaven shall be compared to 10 maidens, who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 foolish. Those who were foolish, having their lamps, took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their containers with the lamps. Now while the bridegroom took time, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight a cry was heard, See, the bridegroom is coming, go out to meet him. Then all the maidens rose up and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, Give us your oil, because your lamps are going out. Our lamps are going out, rather. Give us your oil, because our lamps are going out. But the wise answered, saying, No, indeed, there would not be enough for us in you. Instead, go to those who sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding feast, and the door was shut. And later the other maidens also came, saying, Master, Master, open up for us. But he answered, saying, Truly I say to you, I do not know you. My brother, my sister, there must be and will be balance when it comes to preparations and actions for being successful in obeying the Almighty Father Yahuah. In Yahusha's name we will learn. Believe it or not, things needed are important for the completion of tasks now and ahead. The 144,000 Hebrews in great multitude will rise. There will be those that will have and those who will have not. There will be those who will be ordered to leave stuff behind and just be drawn by the Most High. And there will be those that will have to share with them. And there will be those that will miss out, and it will be too late. What's your position, Yashar'al? Behold, our redemption draws near. It is time to choose, my brothers and sisters. There will be those who have, as I stated, and those who are ordered to meet up with those who have. All that is promised will come to be, but there will be those left out, those who will miss out. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. What is ahead of us calls for preparations, discernment, and acting correctly, recognizing things needed. On that note, I salute your patience, your tolerance, in your pursuit of set apartness. My prayers are for your success in Yahusha's name. I invite you to stay tuned, for I believe there is much more to come. Gird up, my brothers and sisters. The time is now to choose wisely, for there is much work to be done. Hold your head up and be encouraged. Shalom.